Okay, this is the third video, I believe, out of 4 that we're going to have for today. This is the unit on area, and we're in day 3. We're talking about composite shapes and irregular shapes and coordinate plane stuff. This video is going to focus on irregular shapes. In other words, I don't see any trapezoids or squares or anything in this one, so I can't break it up nice and easy. So the idea is we just want to estimate. We're not going to know for sure with these problems. We're just going to get a round figure, like how many square units is this thing? And so you can see what we've done then is we're going to break this into just a bunch of shapes that we do know. So for example, if I took this and just started breaking it up into like maybe squares and rectangles, and there are a lot of different ways to do it, okay, you see one way over here. Maybe it's a triangle here and a parallelogram and a trapezoid and then another triangle. I can put those all 4 together, and you know what? I know it's going to be a little bit more because it leaks outside of my red lines, but it's going to be pretty darn close for an estimate, right? And so then I can go through and I can say, okay, listen, this is a triangle with a base of 3 and a height of 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Half of that is 1.5 for part A. And I can look at this and I say it's a parallelogram, and it's a base of 1, 2, 3, and a height of 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. Here is a trapezoid. Trapezoids are average base times the height. The height is 1. The average base, well, I got a base of 3 and a base of 2. The average of those is 2.5. So really I've got 1/2 times the average base, which is 2.5, times the height, which is 1. So that's 1.25 units. And then down here I have a triangle, base of 2, height of 1. 2 times 1 is 2, half of that is 1. And so if I just go through and I add them all together, I would say 1 plus 1.25 plus 3 plus 1.5. Total area is about 6.75. So, you know what? Maybe a little bit over that because it leaks outside of it for the most part, right? Maybe about 7 square centimeters. That'd be a pretty good estimate, right? Here's another way to do the exact same problem. Maybe I want to break it up here. I look here and I say, you know what, really, that looks to me like a square. That would be 4 square units. And then I go here and I say, you know what, maybe I call this a triangle, and that's half of a unit. 1 times 1 is 1, cut it in half. And I look at this and I say, well, you know, maybe that's just kind of like a triangle. That's pretty close. It's a triangle. That'd be a base of 2 and a height of 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Half of that is 1. Here's another triangle here. That's a half square. Here's another triangle here, right? And that's 1 between the 2 of them. Here's another triangle here, and that's 1 between these 2 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? I don't know. See, we're just estimating here. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. I just need to see that you've thought about this. I must have screwed up somewhere. 1, half and half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. I don't know. So, you know, which estimate's correct? I don't know. My guess is probably between the 2. It's probably like 7.5 or something if we did the real thing. All we can do here is just break it up into small shapes and get an idea. Let's get an idea of how many squares that thing takes up. Okay? So, let's estimate the area of the shaded region. I think that it'd probably be pretty easy to just do something like this. You know what? Let's just break this up. Let's call this one triangle. This one here looks to me like a trapezoid, maybe. Would be a pretty good shape. This one here, maybe another trapezoid. And then I got looks like a rectangle for this one. And then for here, you know what, pretty close to just a triangle. I think that that's pretty simple. So let's go through and find the area of each of these individually. Looks like this has a base of 1, 2, 3, 4, height of 1. 4 times 1 is 4, half of that is 2. Base of 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Base of 4, the average of 2 and 4 is 3. So its average base, which is 3 times the height of 1, there's 3 square units there. Over here, I have a base of 3 and a base of 2. The average of that is 2.5. 2.5 times 1 for the height is 2.5. This is 3 units because it's a rectangle. Down here, 3 by 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Half of that is 1.5. I take those figures, I add them up, and I get about 12. About 12 units squared. Right? So, there's the third video, just estimating irregular shapes. Understand that there is some give and take in these answers. You might not have the same answer as your neighbor. What I'm looking for is, can you break it down and give me a pretty close estimate? Okay? That's what I'm going to be looking for whenever we do